And former Speaker McCarthy laying out a 5-point plan to help Israel in its war with Hamas. Here's One America's Rachel Asenis.
Less than a week after he was ousted as House Speaker, Kevin McCarthy outlines a plan to help the United States' longtime ally, Israel. McCarthy weighed in on the war between Hamas terrorists and Israel during a press conference Monday, touting his experience in leading a bipartisan congressional delegation to Israel every term. McCarthy said the top priority should be rescuing all American hostages without what he calls Biden's policy on appeasement, including money for hostage deals.
It must be clear that we do not negotiate with terrorists and no American will be left behind.
The former House Speaker was referring to the recent hostage deal with Iran, in which 5 American prisoners, who the U.S. says were wrongfully detained, were swapped for 5 Iranian nationals held in U.S. custody. As part of that deal, $6 billion, which had been frozen under U.S. sanctions, were given back to Iran. McCarthy said such a move emboldens terrorists and helps their cause. And Secretary of State Antony Blinken over the weekend confirmed Iran finances terror groups such as Hamas with NBC's Meet the Press.
Iran has unfortunately always used and focused its funds on supporting terrorism, on supporting groups like Hamas. And it's done that when there have been sanctions. It's done that when there haven't been sanctions. And it's always prioritized that.
McCarthy's plan also includes providing full support for Israel, confronting Iran and what he calls a new axis of evil along with Russia and China, and focus on securing our own open border.
President Biden has said previously that he believes the number one threat to America is facing is climate change. That is not true. The number one threat killing Americans is terrorism.
Finally, McCarthy called for the U.S. to confront anti-Semitism in the U.S. His 5-point plan comes on the heels of the historic vote which removed him from House leadership. Since the temporary speaker has extremely limited powers, Congress is now under renewed pressure to fill the vacant speaker seat, as the Biden administration will likely look to Congress for additional support for Israel. Rachel Asenis, One America News.
We'd like to welcome you to our new home for uncensored news and hard-hitting talk shows. If you're tired of cable companies and social media giants chipping away at your most basic and important right, freedom of speech, by shadow banning, demonetizing, censoring, and policing every single one of your posts, then One America News on Locals is just what you've been looking for. Finally, you'll have the freedom to express your point of view and stay connected with like-minded fellow patriots. And the best part is, OAN on Locals is only $5 a month. All of our credible, honest, unbiased reporting, ad-free talk shows, and exclusive content, all at the fraction of the cost of cable. So to watch, just click the join button to get the news you can't get anywhere else.